I had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So our orders get all backed up. We're drowning in paperwork, then actually drowning, careless fighting off sharks with a stapler, and pirates are pillaging the office copier, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant goes beyond the resume, using unique insights to deliver a smarter shortlist. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
Mom, Dad, I just have to say, it breaks my heart watching you stress over dinner every night. This year, I don't want you doing the fridge stare down. Hot take, with the new Blue Apron, eating healthy is easy. They've got pre-made and one-pan meals with plenty of balanced nutrition. No subscription needed. You could be plating like a chef instead of negotiating with leftovers. Make it your healthy, tasty, and easy 2026 dinner resolution. Just saying.
Get 50% off your first 2 orders plus free shipping with code LISTEN50. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
Woolly hats, big coats, shoes, waterproof trousers. No, I'm not putting my packing list together for Milano Cortina just yet, but we are just 2 weeks away and the Team GB athletes are getting their stuff together at Kitting Out. So we are on our travels again, recording this episode. I'm in Sheffield for Anything But Footy, and I'm Michael.
And I'm John, and this is the Olympic and Paralympic podcast, talking about it all the time, not once every 4 years. And the Steel City, where Michael is, showed itself off in style in recent days with a European bronze medal in ice dance for Lilah and Lewis, and a great big staging of the European Championships for the first time in a decade.
We felt so much pride to represent Great Britain in Great Britain. It's something that I think is a once-in-a-career opportunity on this scale.
Coming up, we'll be speaking more about Lilah Fear Lewis Gibson and if they can get on that Olympic podium with 2 very British-themed routines.
Michael Weddock's Winter Wonders.
And we'll round up the rest of the skating action from here in Sheffield, including short track with Niall Treacy.
Ahead of more team announcements with the latest sliding and snow updates, and the rest of the news from the games as well. Why Michael will be back in Yorkshire in 2027.
I don't really leave Yorkshire, to be honest. It's where I live. Can't wait for that, but this is Anything But Footy. Stay in touch all the time with our socials, and don't forget to read the latest blogs on our website, anythingbutfooty.com.
I'm Ellia Smeeding, Team GB long track speed skater. You're listening to the latest on the Winter Olympics from Anything But Footy.
So, as you've heard, I'm at Team GB's Kitting Out. This is the first of 3 activation days, and Team GB do this for all of their team, and that's the athletes and all the support staff that are heading off to the games. So we're in Sheffield for this one, and it's all about the skaters today, so the figure skaters and the speed skaters as well. It's a big step on the road to the Winter Olympics. It's an exciting day as well, because, as I say, they bring all the team together here, and I've spotted some other well-known names. So Brian E. Page is here today, as we know, the Olympic gold, silver and bronze medalist who is based here in Sheffield most of the time. She's volunteering today. So I had a quick chat with Bryony. So she's sort of taking and leading the athletes through the stages of Kitting Out, having done it, of course, for 3 summer games at the NEC in Birmingham. I've seen the boxer, Lewis Richardson. He's here as well. And they will be talking to some of the class of 2026, as well as going through their duties. And also here, of course, and she is, as we speak, making a presentation to the team. Team GB's chef de mission for these Winter Games, Eve Muirhead.
Today's an incredibly important day for the athletes and the staff. This is when it really becomes real, isn't it? When you get to try on that kit and go home tonight, and I'm sure those bags will be opened in seconds and gone through everything, trying everything on again. And yeah, it really is a special day for all the athletes. And I remember every single kitting out that I did. And it's memories that for me last forever, they really do, and especially with Team GB and the British Olympic Association putting on such a fantastic event, having all our partners here as well, really getting involved in some fun activities. Some of the athletes who don't really cross paths get to cross paths with other athletes, so yeah, it's a really special day.
What actually happens behind the closed doors of Kitting Out? What's going on in there?
Yeah, so every athlete gets a chance. They have their kind of personal shopper, and they'll try on every single piece of clothing that they'll have when it comes to games time, and basically checking it fits. If it doesn't fit, they'll ask if they can try on a different size, and that's in theory what it's like. Try on your kit and make sure you've got everything fits right, and head home with it in your suitcases.
And again, is something like today and this being a landmark, again, is that just part of bringing those Team GB values together and again leading into that enhancing the performance?
Absolutely. It's days like this that, again, it begins to come real. Makes you maybe, as you mentioned before, stand a little bit taller. You then have the kit, and I guess some of them are returning Olympians, some of them are first-time Olympians, and this to me is the start of the Olympic Games. It is just around the corner, and they make it incredibly special, Team GB, and it's no small project, put it that way. And what a great job Lindsay has done in kind of leading this project, and the rest of the team around her.
Just finally, pleased with the way your team GB is coming together?
I'm really pleased. Yeah, everyone is working very well together. Everyone puts absolutely everything into it, and yeah, you can't fault them. And it's a case now of wanting to get out into Italy onto the ground. There's only so many problems you can solve from back here in the UK. But no, I'm really, really pleased, and it's great to see everyone kind of with the smiles on their faces.
That's Eve Muirhead, chef de mission for the team, heading off to Milano Cortina. So it's the skaters today at kitting out in Sheffield, and they come off the back of the European Championships, which finished with the gala yesterday. And I've also been speaking to two of our Team GB skaters, Phebe Becker and James Hernandez.
I think I can speak on behalf of all the athletes here. This is something that we've been looking forward to for a very long time, almost just as much as the Olympic Games. This is what makes it feel so real, and we can be so excited now to officially go.
What's happening then? What's actually going on when you disappear through the abyss there?
So as soon as we got here, we know the purpose of today, and it's to walk out with all of our kit that we get to wear in Milan. And so it's about trying everything on, making everything fits how we want it to, and making sure the gloves and hats fit, because it could be cold.
Our personal shoppers had a big job to do today.
And what about what you actually skate in? Do you look at that today as well, or is that something that happens outside of this process?
Oh, well, that's a difficult one, because obviously in the sport of ice dance, we have our costumes that we have to wear throughout all. I think it's probably one of the only disciplines. I can imagine a few other sports that have different costumes, but again, like gymnastics and stuff have their own team kit. So yeah, but we have our costumes that we've worn all year, so that will be the only costume that's not branded, the only outfit that's not branded. But yeah, everything else will be repping throughout the village and to warm-ups and practices. But yeah.
And how much say do you have over what you wear to compete in?
Yeah, we like to have a lot of say, because ultimately we want to be comfortable, and I know we're going out there to do a performance and look great, but at the end of the day it's got to be comfy and not rip when we're doing lifts and things on the ice. And so it's a collaborative process that takes many months, and our costumes this year actually come from opposite sides of the globe. Phoebe's are from Japan, were made in Japan, and mine were made in Canada, and we're wearing them all over the world.
And I saw at the European Championships here in Sheffield last week, skirts causing one or two issues for a couple of the skaters. But how do you reflect on your European Championships?
Well, luckily my costumes were doing very well. Didn't have any malfunctions. Always have to take that into consideration during the design process. But just being able to wear those costumes with pride, and everyone does really love our look of our costumes this year, and that's always a bonus. But getting to share that and to express a story and these programs we've been working on all year in front of our home crowd, I think it was so special to do that.
And how do you reflect on how you did?
I think it was one of our favourite competitions ever, and sometimes you can have a favourite competition but maybe not skate the best and perform the best, but everything lined up kind of perfect for us at this competition. We skated great programs, we enjoyed the whole experience, we got the most incredible reception from a home crowd that I can imagine is possible. Yeah. We've seen a few home crowds in our time from other countries, and they were special, but Sheffield was something different. And coming out of this week and going into the games, we couldn't feel more supported by the home crowd.
And happy with the way you performed on the ice?
Yes, definitely. I think we're so lucky and so grateful that we can now look back at this with happy memories. We set out a job to, skate well, and we were speaking earlier, but that the pressure of everyone cheering for you, it could break you, or it could lift you up. So I'm really happy that we were able to draw on the crowd and how supportive everyone was, and just build it and add it into our performance and make it that much more special.
Phoebe Becker and James Hernandez, skaters who finished 11th at the European Championships. More coming up on that event from them later on.
Sounds like you're having a good time, Michael. I think also you might have some chips, which is always useful as you're recording a podcast. But have you got any stuff to keep you warm at these winter games? This is the big question, because I think having remembered that when you went to Rio, when it was winter, it was the summer games, but it was winter in Rio, I think you went without a coat.
Yeah, I can't believe that in all of my planning for the Rio Olympics back in 2016, didn't take into account that we were actually going to the southern hemisphere where it was winter. So no, I just took loads of like t-shirts and shorts, because growing up and watching the Olympics, it always took place in red hot sunshine, and I just presumed it would be the same in Rio. And it did some days, but then other days it was quite chilly and rainy. And no, you're right, I didn't take a coat to Rio. I did invest in a woolly hat and some gloves at the weekend. So, and I've got my eye on some snowshoes as well, although we are talking all about ice today.
We are talking about ice today. Before we move back to that, just on this Instagram phenomenon about 2016, I mean, we could literally be posting pictures from 2016 every day, but we've restrained ourselves from reliving Rio at this moment in time, haven't we?
Yeah, well, as you know, I'm barred from talking about the Olympic Games in my house. I have been trying to find, actually, one picture from 2016, which I could then join this TikTok and this Insta fad. And I found this really, really nice picture of myself with my two girls at a family wedding. It must have been late on in the evening because both the girls were asleep on my lap. And I thought, that's the one to share, until I realized I was actually resting my pint glass on my youngest daughter's head. So I thought maybe that one is not for public consumption.
Hi, I'm Lilah Fear.
And I'm Lewis Gibson, and you're listening to Anything But Footy,
with the latest on the Winter Olympics.
So Lilah and Lewis, a fourth European medal for the British ice dance couple. And of course, Lilah and Lewis won bronze at their home championship, staged here in Sheffield, 14 years after appearing on the ice there as youngsters, the last time the Steel City staged the European Figure Skating Championships. Got to say, having watched a lot of the coverage, being in Sheffield today, a brilliant week, big crowds, brilliant atmosphere, some very promising other British performances as well. Good to run the rule over the other outstanding European talent just before we head off to Milano as well. And Lilah and Lewis, everyone's been talking about them. I heard a national BBC breakfast show talking about Lilah and Lewis this morning, dancing to the Spice Girls in the rhythm dance. They got a season's best then. And then, of course, a medley of some Scottish folk songs and the Proclaimers in their free dance on Saturday night. They were just a point and a half off last year's champions in silver, a staggering 13 points off the new champions. The gold went to the French pair of Baudry and Cizeron, a partnership only formed a year ago. They haven't been on the circuit much this year. The defending champions and the home favourites for the Olympics from Italy, that is Charlene Guinard and Marco Fabbri, they took the silver.
Yeah, some of the headlines in the media I've been reading, Michael. A costly mistake is one headline. British pair miss out on a maiden European title, which seems a little wishful thinking in some ways, because you've got to beat who's in front of you. Lilah and Lewis fall short were the headlines. But look, I think what you were saying was right. Apart from that minor slip from Lewis in that free dance, I'm not sure it cost them. It may well have cost them a silver medal, as you say, but I don't think it cost them that gold medal, unfortunately, because this French couple absolutely blew everybody away. I don't think people really saw it coming. We haven't seen much of them, as you say, in the build-up to this event, and a staggering 135 points for that free dance, for example, while Lilah and Lewis got 124. That is a big difference. So look, it means Great Britain hasn't got a European champion going into these Milano Cortina Winter Olympics. Of course, we're still waiting for that since Torvill and Dean did it on their return in '94. But you add in the Americans, you add in Lilah Lewis, they have a chance of a medal. And I think that's what we need to think about. We have a chance. We're not saying it is a dead cert now in any way, shape or form, and it never was. But we still have that chance. And I don't think anything's changed from what's happened in Sheffield over the last few days.
Yeah, and remember, of course, they were medalists, under a year ago at the World Championship level in 2025. They won a bronze medal there. So I think a lot of people were talking their chances up and hoping that they would go to these Olympic Games as European champions. They're going as European bronze medalists. But what they know is what they need to eliminate from that free dance. It was a little stumble, but that is something there that they know that they can eliminate from their program, and they will therefore pick up more marks as they head towards Milano Cortina. And if you are going to make a mistake in this season, that was probably the championships to make the mistake in. Let's get it out early and let's not do it on the ice in Milano Cortina.
Well, let's hear what they have to say. Michael caught up with them in Sheffield.
It was such a special week. From the moment that we arrived back in the UK, we could see ourselves on lampposts and the banners, and it was just this really celebratory occasion, and we felt so much pride to represent Great Britain in Great Britain. It's something that I think is a once-in-a-career opportunity on this scale, and we just wanted to soak it all in and do performances that showed our gratitude to have this opportunity and do ourselves proud. And there was one mistake in our free dance that had us not in the position we hoped for. But regardless, we really soaked in the experience and enjoyed it no matter what.
It's something that we've worked our entire career for, and we want for ourselves as well. So that conversation just sort of solidifies how we feel and our skating.
Mm-hmm. There are ice rinks in Great Britain. We both started our journeys here, and it's such a fantastic sport that we both have committed our lives to and we absolutely love, and we want other people to experience that.
I feel too that the way that we showcase ourselves in our skating in the world stage, it's a little bit different and more unique, and we hope that that can also gain more fans and people who want to try skating because of that.
That's where we're so fortunate to be in a partner sport, because on those days where I'm down, he's usually thriving and vice versa. So we're really lucky that we can ebb and flow in our energies and emotions. And no matter what, we are both willing to do the work, no matter how we feel. And it's the kind of thing where you just have to show up at the rink and reconnect with that why and with one another, and then the rest just goes from there.
So Lilah Fear and Lewis Gibson doing us proud in the European Figure Skating Championships in Sheffield, as Michael said. As we heard earlier, youngsters Phebe Becker and James Hernandez, 20 years of age. Their freedom and George Michael routine in the rhythm literally got Sheffield rocking.
Yeah, and you know what? I was speaking, as you heard, from Phebe and James. They listen to the podcast. James downloads the podcast and he says he listens to it on his long-haul flight. So, James, if you're on a long-haul flight at the moment, listening to this one, because they will be going back, I think, to the States before they go to Italy to complete their training. Hello, James. Hope you're having a good flight.
And if Michael needs a woolly hat in Milan, could you lend him one, please? Because that would be really helpful. We don't want him getting cold. Now, Anastasia Vapenlaw and Luke Digby did all they could by leading the way in the pairs for a short while as well last week. Great performance from them before finishing 7th overall. Georgia upsetting the reigning champions Germany with their first ever European gold medal in the pairs. Also skating in Milan, or going to Milan, are Kirsten Spors, who qualified for both of her routines in the women's singles at the Europeans, which was great to see. Estonia's Nina Petrakinga was the gold medalist, and Georgia also won gold again in the men's. Nika Gadzi, Britain's Edward Appleby, getting his Team GB kit today with Michael, finished 24th.
This is Anything But Footy, more skating to come and sliding success with our latest news from the games next.
Every sip of Coca-Cola brings you closer to the excitement of the FIFA World Cup 26. Because nothing compares to the joy. So grab a Coke and drink in the FIFA World Cup 26. No purchase necessary. 13 plus in 50 U.S. states and D.C. with a web-enabled device. Ends March 1st with 8 entry periods. Rules at cokeurl.com/soccerrules.
Hi, I'm Phoebe Becker.
I'm James Hernandez.
Team GB Figure Skaters.
You're listening to the latest on the Winter Olympics from
Anything But Footy.
Michael Weddock's Winter Wonders.
Staying with the skating for the moment, I have been speaking with Niall Treacy today, who's one of 10 British skaters heading to Milano Cortina for the Games in a couple of weeks' time. He's just finished the European Speed Skating Championships in Tilburg in the Netherlands. So close to another bronze medal for Britain. It just shows that Niall is in the form that he could get on that podium at the Olympic Games. He's in contention. He finished 4th in the men's 1500 metres final and 2 other top 10 finishes in the 500 metres and the 1000 metres as well. Remember, in the short track, that's where anything can happen. I mean, it's not a lottery. That is to demean the discipline that Niall is so good at. But things can go wrong for skaters, and that's why Niall is a medal contender as we head to Italy. He's been telling me he's in great shape ahead of his second Olympic Games.
It's probably like overall one of the best Europeans I've ever skated in. So I got 3 individual top 10s and the relay came 5th, winning the B final. From an individual standpoint, I came 4th in the 1500 metres. Felt like I was skating super strong, able to get a medal, but didn't just quite do the right things. But I think it's better to do it now, learn from your mistakes. Sort of like we've already analysed it with the support staff and been like, okay, what do we do? What do we need to do differently in the games? But I think from a physical standpoint, I think the Europeans this weekend have showed that like we're in a good place and it's just about fine tuning.
And officially, obviously selected. We saw you before Christmas in Nottingham, but today is a big day at Kitting Out.
Yeah, no, it's huge. I think like this will be my second games, but didn't have the same kitting out experience because last time was during COVID. So it was all more like isolated and whatnot. So today is just like it's been amazing with all like the different partners here, seeing all the different kit, trying it on, what doesn't fit, what doesn't, what you like, what you don't like. Yeah, and just sort of as well seeing a lot of the guys that I'm going to be in the village with. It's super special.
Yeah, it's a nice team building day, isn't it?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like so, some of the figure skaters I know before, some of them I haven't met. So it's good to like catch up or meet new people. And Elia from long track as well. It's been a while since I've seen her since the last game. So just catching up on like everything speed skating.
And in terms of kit, obviously you're getting things like opening ceremony kit and podium kit and all the rest of it today. But what about competition and your performance kit? How does that evolve?
Yeah, so I haven't seen it yet. I've been told it's going to be like a bit of a surprise later in the day, but I'm going to get my racing suit. And from what I've heard from the support staff is very good, and they think it's better than 4 years ago. And I liked it in Beijing, so I'm excited to see it this time.
What preparation goes into putting that race suit together?
Yeah, so it's the same supplier that we use in our normal racing. So it's like a suit it's tailor fit to us. It's made of like a different material than you'd normally just wear, so a little bit more aerodynamic. But yeah, I think the main thing what they're trying to do here with Team GB is they don't want to like rock the boat. They want to get you in something that you're comfortable and you're happy to wear. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Got 2 weeks to go before the games. You're going to be in competition, as we've spoken about before, every other day. What can you do? What are you going to do between now and then?
Yeah, I think right now is just about keeping myself fit, keeping myself healthy. We're going to go to, next week we'll fly out to Italy, we'll go to Bormio, spend a little bit of time at altitude and just sort of make sure that we're like prepped and ready to go so that when it does become 10th of Feb is my first race, that I'm going all out first race.
Well, we look forward to seeing you. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Now, Treacy, speaking to Michael. Now, we'll get the team sheet for Team GB for the sliding events at the Winter Olympics later this week, we understand. So stay tuned to the podcast for that. Many achievements, though, to run through from the World Cup Series and from action in the Europe Cup as well in the last few days. Marcus Wyatt won gold in Altenburg in Germany in the men's skeleton with Matt Weston in silver. It means Great Britain are the first ever nation to have won every single World Cup race in one season. So either Matt, who's won it 5 times, or Marcus 2 times. That is an incredible achievement for British bobsleigh and skeleton. So well done to them. Tabby Stoker, the first British woman in 11 years to win an overall World Cup medal, a brilliant bronze for her. And Amelia Coltman and Matt Weston won silver in the mixed team relay in Altenburg as well.
So high hopes for our skeleton athletes heading to the games. As we say, they will be named officially hopefully later on this week. Meanwhile, in bobsleigh, Adele Nichol, who, as you know, has been keeping us up to date with her exclusive audio diary of her World Cup season. She delivered medals aplenty in the Europe Cup events that she's been competing in, winning back-to-back gold and silver medals in the monobob near Innsbruck in Austria, followed by a bronze in the two-woman bob with Ashley Nelson. And in the World Cup back in Germany, Brad Hall finished 5th in the men's two-man bobsleigh with Taylor Lawrence, and a 4th place finish in the four-man behind Germany, who had a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, they are the ones to beat in the Winter Olympics. We'll keep an eye on that. A couple of snow headlines for you as well before we go. Charlotte Banks is back, according to GB Snowsport. A first World Cup win in snowboard cross for her since March. She continues her fight back from a shoulder injury. Great to see that as well. And also, Niall Simpson has been doing the business in para skiing as well. He made it 4 from 4 in the World Cup. 4 World Cup podiums in his disciplines in the para alpine Super G as well, with a bronze as well, guided by his brother Andrew. So well done to Niall Simpson and Charlotte Banks. In other news from the Games, Michael will be back in Yorkshire in 2027, out on the streets, not just living in his house. The big reveal of the men's and women's Tour de France in the UK. It's the first time that both Grand Departs have taken place in the same country outside of France. So a great achievement from all the guys who are organising it from a UK sport point of view, and other organisations like British Cycling as well. So here are the headlines. The men's Tour de France will start on July 2nd, 2027, covering all three of the United Kingdom nations. Stage 1 from Edinburgh to Carlisle on Friday 2nd of July. Saturday the 3rd, Keswick to Liverpool. And Stage 3 will be Welshpool to Cardiff on July 4th. And then a month later, it's the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift. And that route will be from Leeds to Manchester. Of course, thinking back to the Tour de France that was in Yorkshire about 10 years ago on Friday, July 30th, and then Manchester to Sheffield, where Michael is today, on the 31st of July. And then we head to London Sunday, August 1st. We're back in London for the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift for the very first time on Sunday, the 1st of August.
Happy to say that we'll be back in Birmingham this summer as well. UK Athletics has today confirmed the Navuna UK Athletics Outdoor Championships will return to Birmingham in 2026. So these will double up, you would imagine, as the European Championship trials, also taking place in Birmingham. The nation's best athletes set to compete at the Alexander Stadium on the 20th and 21st of June.
A little bit of tennis as well from me. Arthur Ferry was one of the ones we told you about in the last episode who got through qualifying in Melbourne for the Aussie Open. Not only that, he won his first round match. And the biggest win of his career, the 23-year-old, he beat 20th seed Italian Flavio Caboli in straight sets in the Australian Open. World ranked 185, Arthur Ferry. We'll see how he gets on.
Well, what a brilliant day it's been with Team GB here in Sheffield. I'm off to try and blag myself a snood. Don't forget, you can check out our socials, Anything But Footy. Find us on Instagram, find us on Threads. You can also read our fixture list for 2026. I mentioned at the start that Bryony Page, the Olympic champion from Paris 2024, is here. She wants to know if the European Trampoline Championships, which are taking place in April, are on our fixture list. You can find out if they are by checking out all the curling, triathlon, swimming, hockey, gymnastics, athletics, rowing, canoe slalom, tennis, basketball, table tennis, golf, all the others as well, all online at anythingbutfooty.com. We're adding some Mariah Carey and some Andrea Bocelli into the Spotify Olympics music playlist as we speak. You should stay with us. We are moving on to Milan and looking ahead to LA.
Hi, it's Niall, Treacy here, Team GB short track speed skater. You are listening to the Olympics with Anything But Footy.